Welcome back. The weekend is upon us, and of course, we're almost halfway into the first ember month of the year. And because of what's going on across the country, a whole lot of people would love to diversify their income bases. One of them would be, opening a business, having one or two businesses apparently to their name, so they could actually make some money. So this particular next discussion would talk about business registration in Nigeria and how you can go about registering your own business. We have with us live in the studio a legal practitioner. His name is Mr. Louis Onya. Good to have you. Good morning.
It's my pleasure.
Good morning.
Gentlemen.
Always nice to have you here with us in the studio.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Can you give us an overview on how businesses are registered in Nigeria, the processes of registering a business in Nigeria, in case someone wants to get into that?
Okay. Thank you for that question. It depends on the nature of the business you are doing. You're going to the first, which I would consider the simplest that any market man or woman can indulge in, is registering your business name as a personal business. In that case, it's just a little token. You approach the people who do that, lawyers. They will get your particulars, send it to CAC. Before, it used to be a tough thing. The process was so long, but these days it's online.
Okay.
All you need is to get an accredited lawyer with CAC. You token money, you give him, he searches for your name. First of all, you must know the names, the name you want to, and you send two names for that business first in order of priority. So the first one will be the one you prefer very well, because if it succeeds, there won't be need to go for B.
Second.
So once it is approved, they will tell you, yes, you can register this. They will allow you a window of about 60 days or so, then for you to prepare, come file your documents, put in your name, particulars, everything about you, then you are good to go. It doesn't take so much money nowadays, because some of these things that used to consume a lot of money is because you need to go through a hurdle. They will say, okay, you don't need to go to CAC now. So it's very small token. I will concern myself with the small token without being specific, because there are people who are handling, so individuals charge according to what they feel. There are people who, but it won't stop you. Then for the bigger one, limited liability companies, it's still easier. You have to get the total, the business name, two names of directors, number of directors you want to have, the shareholding. It can be you, your wife, and your children. The law says you can't do that. But you now apportion shares, allot the shares to them. You file your particulars, identity, you must be known very well. Then each person's share must be met. Sometimes one person will, I'm just being realistic, one person can be the owner. He will assemble his children and his wife, they become directors. He apportions or allots shares to them. But specifically, a lawyer must be the secretary. A lawyer will be the secretary of the company. And by the time you register, you are different from that company, in the sense that your car is not the company's car. If you donated your car or cars or property, building, it is no longer your personal thing. The directors must sit to take decisions. We want to acquire more property or want to dispose of what we have. That is the second segment. Then the other one has to do with incorporated trustees, like it's not associations, because associations can own a filling station, they can own a television station, all these business, they can go into oil and gas and all that. Then the association will have what we call incorporated trustees, who will now be managing the affairs of that corporation or business. So it depends. In fact, in churches, let me use that word. I am not saying that church is business, but I'm saying that something like in churches, you must have incorporated trustees of blah, 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 blah. Whether your bishop is the head or your founder or whatever, then these are the procedures. In summary, I am trying to avoid going into the technical aspect of it.
Yeah,
because like every registration, there are forms to be filled. It's general.
Yes. Well, I'm just wondering, what is the difference between a company, a limited liability company, and the big consortium, and then the one-man business? What was the difference in terms of the name, in terms of the structure? That's one of the questions I wanted to ask. I'm going to ask the next question. Maybe he would take the next. Go ahead.
In business name is not limited. It is, for me, for example, Louis Onya and Co.
Okay, that's for personal.
Personal.
Okay.
It is private
company.
Louis Onya Enterprises.
Okay.
Then the other one is limited.
Okay, could be any other name, limited.
Limited.
Okay, if it's Louis Onya Limited, if it's Louis Onya Limited, can it go like that?
Then it goes higher. It's no longer a private company.
Okay.
It's no longer me. Because in that limited, you have a lot of privileges. If it's a limited liability company, it is different from you. It's no longer you.
Yeah, okay.
If you do anything, it's the company that must be held responsible. But there's what we call you unveil. For example, the company committed so much fraud. For example, fraud. Then they will come around, the building is already vacated, where you normally locate them. You open a veil, you unveil the company to know those who are behind it. That's when individuals will now come to account for their own personal deeds in the company. Like sometimes in banks, it used to be you get the GM or MD, whoever is, all these people, then they will be tried in court. But if it's a benefit, it's still a company. So you don't unveil and say you are tagged to your shares, the number of shares you are holding in that case.
How about groups? When some people say Chukwuemeka Business and Groups.
Name,
yes.
In that case, that word group,
yes,
in my view,
yes,
does not catapult it from being a private entity to a limited liability entity.
Okay.
If you say groups or group, for example, you have a primary school, nursery school.
Yes, they mostly do that with schools, yes.
They say group of schools.
Yes.
It doesn't push it forward.
Okay. So now, I want to understand what the challenges can be, because lately, I think July 6th, thereabout, CAC and POS started one little bit of fight. CAC saying that all POS people should register, and then they are still on it up till this month. So what do you think are the major challenges with people registering with the CAC?
Well, major, to the best of my knowledge,
yes,
those problems we used to account, that used to confront people in those days, are already solved partly because of, like I said, before you register a company, You will be meeting lawyers and secretaries, chartered accountants. They are the people who are accredited group that will register people. When registration per se now is not a hindrance, is very smooth selling. They just want everybody to register. For example, if it's CO and Co, you determine, you tell them this is my worth. They don't impose it on you. But registration is essential to control certain things. So if you volunteer to be a limited liability company, you cannot be feeding, from the company, defrauding the company, using the company to cheat people. That's one of the essence of registration. You pay tax to government, and CAC is the body that will tell you, go and pay. You have not paid. If you don't pay, you will not, your books, returns, what is when you update your books, annual returns will not be accepted, or even you pay in arrears. But with reference to POS and CAC, CAC says you must register. They have that authority. For you to do a business, you must register. So it is not that they are fighting. They can't fight because that one is performing his duty. If you are negligent, if you refuse to obey or respect him, it doesn't mean you are fighting. So what I'm saying is that POS should register. If CAC says you should register, you register. Then there are some that will pay what they call income tax. There are people who pay these other aspects of tax, that is company tax. So I'm CO and Co. Doesn't elevate my status so that to the federal government, so I'll be paying to CAC. I'm supposed to pay to the Board of Internal Revenue as an individual. Then if they say the state now approves a token for all these people who are doing petty trading, then it's their law, they pass it. But if you are trying to elevate POS so that they will be paying tax, the company, the business will be paying to government, I don't think. That's to federal government. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right.
Right. Do you think it's still lucrative to do business in Nigeria? Because according to statistics, we hear that the amount of persons who come out to register businesses have dropped drastically. And it's largely because of the fact that the monies that they're using to go into open business, they're using it to either buy fuel or even eat food. For you, with what has been going on, do you think that Nigeria is still a place that people find lucrative to invest?
Well, for me, this is my personal view. It is no longer interesting. It's no longer lucrative. It's no longer, what we are doing in Nigeria is a lot of people are taking risks. And in business, yes, they say, don't fear, take risks so that you grow. But you don't see the risks there and you jump into it. Say, I've been told to take risks. It's when it is unimaginable. You don't imagine it. You don't foresee it. But these days, I pity people who are doing any type of business in Nigeria. Is it, if you rely on energy, I think in one of the stations I was privileged to appear, one of the broadcast media, I was, the MD was, we were discussing informally. He was telling me, he said, Louis, to run these businesses no longer for. What is he spends on diesel alone on weekly basis on weekly basis can pay his staff, all of them. So imagine that kind of, what kind of business are you running? Are you running a charity home? Apart from the issue of technology, energy, that government agents, you see somebody, a woman who is selling mango, fruits, they will come, you see another person standing, a man, once it is 10, Madam will take go, that's Madam, bring money. What for? Some of them are agents of government. Some of them are friends of government, touts, used in the election. So they can look elsewhere. Security operatives will look elsewhere when you are undermining somebody's interest. So I wonder, when people do business, it's like, in Nigeria today, it's like, well, we have come out, we have started, there's nothing we can do. We must continue. And many of them will die, food, and all that. So, before, taxes were classified. You know, local government will collect this one. If your status is not up to that of state, local government will be in charge. Like market, those days when we were in secondary school, they talk about market traders. I mean, market, the authority, marketing authority. You have the person who is in charge. You have the office for stores and shops in the local government. Even in Enugu city, you then used to have Enugu Urban Council, which later changed or baptized to be Enugu Local Government. Enugu North, Enugu South, Enugu East. You see touts going beyond what they're supposed to collect, asking you about vehicle license, all these things, local government. Now, the other aspect is that government, state will take over everything. You see, state has nothing to do with the market. State government has nothing to do with the market. It is only when you say you clarify them, you classify them. Like I said, limited liability companies. You deal with them. There is a share that state governments are entitled to collect certain revenues, not all. Federal government has to do with incorporate big companies. They pay some, do the annual returns to the federal government, but not modeling it down, because every government will come and tell you, like in federal government, they will tell you, look inwards. You are telling a teacher, a lecturer, a vice chancellor, look inwards to do what? To generate revenue from where? Will he sell the students? Then all you have to do is to increase the school fees. Then they will tell you, in those days, for example, if you want to build a hostel, the school authority, those in civil engineering, you want to build a hostel, those in civil engineering, those in architecture, those in surveying, they are lecturers, they will contribute. They will be the master. Even when you want a award contract, they will be there to know somebody is proposing this amount, he cannot do it or he can do it, or this one is excessive. When it's awarded, they will supervise it. The school itself, knowing is their own. So you cannot be ripped off. But these days, it's very funny that, for example, where we practice on daily basis, when the new High Court complex was built, we moved from GRA, where it used to be, to the Independence Layout axis. no lawyer, no judge. In fact, the chief judge then did not know anything about even the drawing, because the judges, the chief judge at least, should have been there to show you this is how court halls, these are how court halls built. That's what it look like. Guided by that, government will know the person who did, but they were not part of it. And we came in, leaking roof. They have gone on radio, on air to say computerized this and that. So in business, the way we collect money under the guise of tax, revenue is horrible. And it is undermining everything. It's undermining, it's leading to high cost of goods. How does it affect it when you ask this man, for example, Keke? They will pay 3 times what they used to pay before you collect it. What will the Keke man do? You transfer the inconvenience to the passenger. So unless and these things are in our law books, clearly stated. But because people are in a hurry, especially in this part of the country, you'll be telling him, let's go to court and challenge it. You just do like this, scratch ears and say, Barrister Harper, God will punish them. Is it not? Barrister, leave them. But you have been given the brain to know. The law is telling you this thing is all proper. Wait. Allow him to challenge it. So unless we change our attitude that the only way government can raise funds is by tax, we are killing ourselves. But government can open up businesses and people will be willing to pay. If you can buy your diesel, do these things.
But Barrister, how do we now tackle the issues of, just like you said, we have different ways where these business people are being now taxed. No, being taxed. We have the levies and everything. Now, for small businesses, especially in this economy now, how do business owners protect themselves from this, should I use unlawful extortion from them? Yes.
Well, I think that it's not you protecting yourself and your business. It's the duty of government to protect you and your business. So the only way out is to go back to what it used to be. Before, if you start a business, you are given a window, a leave, an opportunity, about 6 months. Nobody will ask you for anything. So that at least you look at what you are doing, whether you continue or discontinue. But sometimes they will come and tell you, bring a receipt of shop to show when you paid your rent, so that I will start calculating. You are saying, look at these things. I did these paintings last week. I've bought this. So the only way is for government to do the proper thing.
Which part of the government is responsible for this? So that we don't just say government.
No, government, I mean, is if it is the local government, like you are dealing with traders, you are dealing with artisans, is local government. Then the payee, pay as you earn, will come to an extent where even some part of it are from government, I mean local government. State governments are the worst culprits in this thing. In the whole 36 states and Abuja, the state governments, the capital territory authorities are the worst in this dimension. The law is very clear that income, annual incomes, state government should give 10% to the local government. Federal government will give 10% to each local government. Nowadays, it is the local government money that is used by the state government, not federal government. So, what do you do? So the best option is for them to go back. They know the truth. Don't multiply taxes. what do you call it, business premises, registration of business premises, Ministry of Commerce. Used to be under the Ministry of Commerce. Now, you will pay to Ministry of Commerce. You will pay to SWAMA, Enugu State Waste Management. They say they are coming to catch these things. Ooh. You pay to them. You pay to council chairman or state government again under one other name. For example, tricycle, keke. VIOs. You don't have business with keke. They will say register this, multiple taxation, remove it.
But you said VIO does not have business with KK, but I thought it was vehicle inspector officers.
Tricycle, is it vehicle?
So we don't classify them. Okay, we don't classify them as vehicles.
No, it's not in the category of what you have in mind, vehicle.
Yes.
Envelope is a vehicle through which you can post your letter.
Sure.
But in the recent, is it a car? Is it a truck? This is tricycle. It's simple. But these things you pay. Learner's permit. These things are. What I'm trying to say is that remove the multiple taxation. There are people you don't tax because of what they are doing. Let them even feed themselves on a regular basis. That is enough package from government. Somebody who is busy selling mama put, what they call it, is outside the restaurant. It doesn't mean that if you send him to a 5-star hotel, give him or her accommodation, she will not sell. No. But to her capacity or his capacity. Those people you use umbrella. What are you collecting from them? At best, it should be local government.
But I wanted to ask, what's the role of legal practitioners like you, in mitigating some of these issues that business owners are facing? Because, again, we're talking about the economy, and in many parts of the world, small businesses are actually what makes an economy strong. It's not the large corporation. So if small businesses are not opened and people are running away from it, are not registering, it means that we're headed towards doom. So I'm just asking, for people like you who are legal practitioners, who have seen these loopholes, see these things happen, what roles do you play in mitigating against this, numerous taxations that small businesses face?
Yes. As a lawyer, you must work within the ethics of the profession. You must work within the laws of that profession, guiding the profession. And a lawyer does not go to court for the fun of it. What you will do is that you must have the consent of the person you want to represent. Other than that, what you do is that you educate the people. Tell them, look, you are not supposed to pay for this. And if they insist you must pay for it, go to court for interpretation. Then, just the same education, the same class action, campaigns. You tell them this is your right. This is what it should be. This is what that is due for you. When the government runs amok, you quote, then what can you do? As a lawyer, you don't just jump in under the guise of activism. If you are, for example, it's not that he must pay, especially when it involves the society. He mustn't pay, but he must give you his consent. Then that's where you can do pro bono cases. Even if the leadership of the market association, for example, if you go to court against them and government comes and says, I will revoke, I will close the market and let me see what you and your lawyer will do. And they disown you there. Not by the lawyer, but the lawyer came and said we should allow him once to do it, you have been disowned.
Okay, but because of time, and we have to round up very soon, an average Nigerian watching this interview now would say, but it's the same time and money I'm probably going to spend. It's even probably easier for me to just pay and then move on with my life. Just like you said with that tricycle guy, God could punish them. It's just easier for, let me just pay. So how do you encourage people? Is it free as well? When I go to my lawyer and go to the court rather, is it free? Is it better? Is the process easier than me just giving these people the money and then you don't just go scot-free?
Well, the process I prefer, it's not because I'm a lawyer. I prefer getting to logical conclusion in everything. You give them money, they will increase it tomorrow. It's not that if you pay loyally, they will allow you. But people, especially in this part of the country, they are in a haste. A policeman arrests somebody. You as a lawyer, you are there. You say, don't mind him. You are not going to pay a dime. I will defend you. They will call him, corner him, say, I will call SARS for you. I will send your name to anti-kidnapping. The man passed with his money. Then the comes and say, the law, I'm releasing him. When you go out, the man will tell you, oh, Capo Mego has taken my money. So the easiest thing I'm saying is that it's better we fight this war and end it. If they defeat us in court, it means we ought to have paid. We will not pay. If we defeat them, court will say, tell them to pay. They will compensate you. So the only thing, and again, people should talk, open their mouth. Not, you see, you are, okay, some people like during the protest, everybody knows that protest is genuine, it's legal all over the world. But there are people who will say, we'll not join. There are people who are saying, well, after this one, what will you achieve? What will you achieve? It took the incessant coup plotting and counter coups for the military to leave this country, to leave governance. None of them succeeded in pushing them away or pushing a head of state away. But the consistency of what was going on forced them to now throw the leadership on us. If we insist that proper things should be done in a particular part of the world, part of Nigeria, if you go there, you know women don't sell these provisions, tea, all these things in shops. They carry it and move. Touch that person. They will tell you a lot, Ajeje. You will see my lawyer. You are going to, my lawyer. He will bring out small phone. Lawyer, come. Policeman, police, Olokpa. The lawyer will do a paper, small book, paper. And they send it to Olokpa and his commissioner or DPO. Everybody will start running. Tomorrow they won't come. Tomorrow they will not come.
All right, let's leave it here. We're going to continue engaging these issues with a view to bring into fore some of the things that we're facing so that we can bite from your very large experience so as to get these things done. Thank you so much, Mr. Louis Onyeara, legal practitioner, for coming on the show this morning. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm pleased.
We're back shortly after this break. Just stay with us.